What's the best thing to do with our form responses? Hi, this is Eliot from Workload. In this second part of our video, we're going to be diving deeper into forms by workload. We'll build a workflow starting with our forms by workload response, and then taking that information and plugging it into some popular apps like Slack, Google Sheets, and Gmail.
All right, let's build a workflow. So we're going to start here at the workload editor. In our previous video, we learned about how to create a form in forms by workload, and then we filled out that form so we had a response to work with. I went ahead and gave our workflow a title. So forms by workload to Sheets, Slack, and Gmail. So we're going to start building a workflow that takes our response from our form by workload and plugs it into those popular apps. So we're going to click on our plus sign to add a step. First, we're going to go to Google Sheets. Our event is going to be to create a spreadsheet row. Make sure we're connected to Google. This is going to be in our form responses spreadsheet, and it's going to be sheet 1. And then in order to map our row data from our trigger into our Google Sheet, we're going to click the Add To button. I designed a Google Sheet where the columns match the questions being asked in the form. So our first question was, what did you have for breakfast? So we're going to click down in the data box and come to our drop-down menu from our trigger and find that question. What did you have for breakfast? And I'm going to click on that, and that adds it into our workflow. Click Add To again. Our second question is, what is the meaning of life? I'm going to find that answer. Add To. Are you having fun? Okay, I'm noticing here that our response to the "Are you having fun?" question is tucked inside of an array. So in order for this to work in our workflow, I'm going to have to pull that out of the array. So I'm going to pause in this step 2. I'm going to jump up this plus sign in between steps 1 and step 2. I'm going to click on it and then add step. Click in that box. I'm going to select our tools. I'm going to use the AI formatter by workload. We're going to format data. So the input is going to be that "Are you having fun?" question. And I'm going to give it a prompt of pull out the 0, because that's how it was identifying the answer, and make it a separate response. I'm going to test that action. Now we just have the answer there as a separate response that we can plug into our various apps. So I'm going to jump back to that step 3, come down to our 4th action step. For that data in the having fun column, I'm going to come down to the step 2 and click on that response. I'm going to add to. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? That's going to come from the step 1. And one more column. What time do you go to bed? And that's going to come from the step 1 as well. So I'm going to click continue, and then we'll test this action. It looks like we have a success. So I'll click continue here. I can peek over at my spreadsheet, and I can see those answers were imported, so that worked correctly. I'm going to click this branching button to add a path. And so that's going to be under step 2. So every action we add under that will already have formatted the data so we can plug it into whatever other app we want to use. So in this case, we're going to use Slack. The event is going to be to send a channel message. The channel I want to send my message to is my test channel. The message text is going to be all those responses. So the way I want to do this is I'm going to combine text that I'm adding with information I'm importing from the trigger. So I'm going to kind of give the same column names we had in Google Sheets as a way of identifying which question is being answered. So for our first question is breakfast. So I'm going to type the word breakfast, have a colon, hit the space bar, and then I'm going to find that question. I'm going to click enter, and we're going to do meaning for meaning of life. Then our third question was the fun. So that I have to make sure and come down to that step 2 and get the answer from the response there. For our next question, turtle, that's going to come from step 1. And our last question, bedtime, and that is going to come from step 1 as well. All right, so now the bot name I'm going to call form response. So we'll know that we got a new form response, and then these are the details of that response. I'm not going to select an icon or an emoji to go along with this, and it's not currently part of a thread because this is a new message being sent. If I wanted all of my form responses to be part of the same thread, then I could add that there. So I'll click continue, and I'm going to test this action. And it looks like we have a success. I can look over at my Slack channel, and you can see that all came through as a Slack channel message. So that works. Come back to the workload editor. We're going to branch off again by clicking the add path button below step 2. And this is going to be in Gmail. And the event is going to be to send an email. Make sure we're connected to Gmail. I'm going to send this email to myself. And I can copy that same email address and paste it into the from email and the reply to email. I'm going to put my name for the name. The subject will be the same as the bot name in Slack. And then we're going to build the body of the email in the same way as well. So breakfast, come down to step 1. Enter meaning. Enter fun. That's from the step 2. Turtle. Step 1. And bedtime. Okay, so I'll click continue here. We'll test this action. Looks like we had a success. I'm going to click continue. I can peek over at my email. There it is. There's our new form response email with the details of our form response. So I'm going to come back over and I'm going to check to make sure there's a green dot in each of my nodes. Oh, this one has a yellow dot, so something needs to be attended to. Now it's green, okay? So now I can activate my workflow, and every time I have a new form response to a specific form, it's going to format the data and then add to my Google Sheet, send me a Slack channel message, and send me an email. Let's go ahead and fill out the form one more time so we can see that in action. We'll give different answers in this form response. So what did you have for breakfast? Waffles. What is the meaning of life? To find the purest pleasures. Are you having fun? Yes. My favorite Ninja Turtle is Michelangelo. What time do you go to bed? When the sun sets. Okay, so then we'll submit this form. And now all that data has been run through our workflow, and we can peek over at our spreadsheet, and boom, those answers have just been imported. Look over at Slack. Those answers have just been added there. And then check my email. And there we have a new email sent with the distinct answers to that form response. So now we have a successful workflow. Everything is awesome. That's how you can use the Workload editor to connect Forms by Workload with some of the most popular apps. Please comment on this video with any questions or any ideas for future videos. You should also like this video and click here to subscribe to our channel. And click here to get more content from Workload about how to make your business practices flow more smoothly. And I'll see you next time.